All right, welcome back. And today we are going to do a question called sum of squares. So in the question here, it says, given a number n, find the least number of squares needed to sum up to the number. Here's an example. Okay, so for example, if we take the number 13, then 13 is 3 times 3 plus 2 times 2, which means 3 squared times 2 squared, and then that would give you 13. So that means we need two numbers, so we output 2. So that's what we want. All right, let's go to the iPad and look at this example using the iPad. So here I've listed all the numbers, well, at least a few numbers, and then also their squares. So for example, we see that 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 2, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9. And then 13 here, you can see that it's actually composed of 4 plus 9, which means 2 to the 2 plus 3 to the 3, which means that you only need two numbers here. Awesome. And then the question is, how do we find the minimum amount to do this? So the answer is actually dynamic programming, and I'll tell you how first. So let's take the number 13. Let's do it intuitively. So how many numbers, or like how far can do the numbers be that we need? What I mean is, like, if your end result is 13, then you know that you'll never need a 4, because 4 to the 2 is 16. So there's no way you need a 4, because that's going to be bigger than the number itself. So the only numbers that we care about are these ones, right? So that makes it a lot easier, because you know that you don't need any of these guys. Because if you use 4 and you square it, you get 16, and 16 is definitely bigger than your original number anyways. So you know that you have to do a combination of these guys. How do we do this? So I've drawn this other thing. So in the end, what we want is we want to do some kind of dynamic programming. And here I've drawn a kind of like a map or like an array that you'll use so that you can do your dynamic programming. Where the index, when you have the array, the index is the n that you want to get. So here I wrote it down. So for example, the top would be the number to sum up to. So in our definition, that is n, right? That is n. And then in the bottom is the return output. So for example, how many squared numbers you need to sum up to that number. So yeah. So this is what this is, and how was that going to help? Well, essentially, this is dynamic programming. What we want to do is we want to figure out this answer, right? Because this answer will tell you, well, we actually know it's already 2, but this answer will tell you for the number 13, how many squared numbers do we need to add up to 13? And then once we find this number, that is our answer. So how do we do that? We do something called dynamic programming, and how we do this is we are going to compute for different indexes, which is different numbers to sum up to, and then with that we already have the information, and then we use that information to be able to one day get the value, or like the answer for 13. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so here we have 0. 0, we don't need any number to make 0, so this is kind of like our base case, right? I'm gonna write it down here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna use all of the squares that we care about. So what did we care about before? We care about 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Why? Because we know that our number is 13 and that was the limit. So 1, 2, and 3. What is 1 times 1? It's 1. So you know that from this number you can get to 1 by just adding 1 to the 1. So here we'll put 1. And then let's see, we have the number 2 to the 2, which is 4. So 0, our initial base case, plus 4 is number 4. So here, what we're going to do is we're just going to add 1 here, because we only need one number to get to 4. And then also 9, right? Because 3 to the 3 is 9, right? So essentially here, 4 is basically 2 to the 2, and 9 is 3 to the 2, right? And then 1 is 1 to the 2. And then what we do is we look at the next number. Now we look at 1, okay? So what we do is 1, we can look at the square numbers again. We have 1, 4, and 9. What's 1 plus 1? 2. All right. So what is my own number? It's 1. So then I add 1 to it. 2. And then what is 4 plus 1? It is 5. What is 9 plus 1? It is 10. There you go. Boom. And then we have these numbers. And then what do we do next? We're just going to do the same thing for 2 now. So 2, what's 2 plus 1 to the 1? It is 3. So essentially what we have here is we have 1 to the 2 plus 1 to the 2 plus 1 to the 2 for this guy, right? All right, so 2 plus 4 is 6, which means 1 to the 1 plus 1 to the 1 plus 2 to the 2. That's what we get here. All right, and then 2 plus 9 is 11, so 3 here. So now we do the same thing. For 3 right here, we do the same thing. We add 1. We have 3 plus 1 to the 1 equals 4. But here we already have a value here. And this value is smaller than what we're going to have as the other value, which is going to be 4. So that's why we actually don't need to change that because it's the smallest anyways. So we skip that. So 3 plus 4, that's 7. So here is 4. And then 3 plus 9, 12. And then 12 is here, so 4. And then now next we're going to do 4. So 4 here, we have 4 plus 1, which is 5, but that's already 2, so it's fine. 4 plus 4, which is 8. Oh, we have 1 here, so we have 2. So that's basically 2 to the 2 plus 2 to the 2, right? So you need 2 numbers. And then you also have 9, so 4 plus 9 equals 13. So then here it's 2, right? And then essentially what we need is 2 to the 2 plus 3 to the 2. And then this is basically 2. And then now that we have that, we are complete. Okay. So yeah, so that's how you do dynamic programming. All right, so the question is, what is the time complexity? So the time complexity for this is actually n times square root of n. And the reason why is you need O of n to go through the whole array, right? Because you have to go through from 0 to 13 to actually know, to try to compute all of them in case one of them is actually more efficient than others. You're gonna have to go through the whole array. So that's O of n. And then every time you add a number, you have to do this square root of n times. And square root of n, because these are all the numbers we care about. And all the numbers we care about is square root of 13, because we know that square root of 13, that multiplied by itself will be 13 and then or more. So that means, that's what I said by when 4 times 4 equals 16, we don't care about that because that's bigger than 13 anyways. And then this is square root of n in terms of how many numbers there are. So for each of these numbers, when we go through the index, we have to multiply, well, we have to do square root of n operation, right? So that means it's O of n times square root of n. And then in terms of the space complexity, it's O of n because we need this array for our dynamic programming algorithm. Now let's code it up. Okay, so first we need our square arrays, which is what we had before, like in the red box. And then we will need to put in those values in the square array. So what we're gonna do is while the square of this number is smaller than what we care about, which is n. So that is why this is where is, this is for the complexity, this is square root of n. So that's what we were talking about before. So then we'll add these numbers, append I times I, okay. And then we're gonna iterate through that. So now that we have our squares, what we're gonna do is we are going to create a dynamic programming array, which is min sums. We're gonna set this to the max, which is just like the max number that you can get, because the most numbers you can get is 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 until your number n. Like for example, if it's 13, then a max would be 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, right? So which means that number is n. That's the max. And then we know that at the 0 index, which means how many square numbers do you need for 0, which is 0. So this one will initialize it to 0. That's our base case, right? So now we just start the loop on this dynamic programming array. So in range length of min sums, we go through this whole thing. And then while we go through this whole thing, for each number, we're gonna go through our squares. For s in squares, we're going to see if the index plus x is smaller than the actual array, because we don't want to go overboard. We don't want to go out of bounds. Like we did before when we said like, okay, this is the number, and then we add 1, and then we add 4, and then we add 9. This is exactly what we're doing here. All right. And then we will get that index by adding s to it. And then we will make sure that we will set it to the smallest one, which is currently what it is, you know, because it's not always guaranteed that your newest value that you give it is going to be smallest. So we'll take the minimum of what the value is already, plus myself on the index plus 1. All right. And then that's pretty much for dynamic programming. And then once you've assigned all the values, then you're done. Then all you have to do is return the last element of the array, because the last element of your array will be the index n. And that should be it. Let's see if this works. Yeah. All right. Cool. It gives 2. Excellent. Let's do an easy one. We know that 9 should be 1. Okay, excellent. We know that 3 should be 3 because it's 1 to the 1 plus 1 to the 1 plus 1 to the 1. Okay, perfect. All right, so that's pretty much it for this question. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one.